This is to demonstrate how to sear beef and deglaze a pan to create a sauce. This, we're using beef fillet, clarified butter, whole butter, peppercorns, kosher salt, shallot, Dijon mustard, red wine, and beef stock. So first, let me show you how to mince a shallot. Just like you would an onion, but much closer together. In a horizontal, and then finely diced shallot. Next, we need to crush our peppercorns. And the best way to do that is with a heavy saute pan or any sort of pot, heavy object. And you simply I'm going to mix that with some of my kosher salt. And we'll use that to season the beef. So remember, when you're searing or sauteing, you always want to get your pan hot before you add the fat. So while that's heating up, I'm going to season my beef. I do like to sprinkle from a little bit higher up. That way it coats it more evenly. We're using clarified butter to get it started. And you can see the pan is hot by how quickly the butter moves across it. You're only using like a ½ ounce here. Not even quite all. Our pan is nice and hot. You can see the rivulets as it goes across it. And I'm placing the beef in, and it makes that lovely sizzle sound, very important. So at this point, you don't want to move the beef around too much. You want to let it form that wonderful Maillard crust, that beautiful brown crust. So it's best to let it just sit. And turn down the flame to a medium-high flame, so that it all cooks a little bit, the beef a little bit, as well as giving you that nice brown sear. So it's starting to sear, but it's not, but it could definitely use more of a crust. Pan's getting a little hot, so I'm turning down the flame. And you see that beautiful crust you got forming there? That's what you want. Really nice and brown, a little crisp. So I'm going to turn the flame down a little bit, and I'm going to add a little bit of whole butter to the pan. And then what I do, as this cooks, I baste the meat with it. So that gives it that wonderful flavor. So if you press on it, it's about still a little bit on the rare side, so we'll give it another minute. Now you can see both sides have that beautiful crust now. The best way to tell if the meat is done is by feel. When you press on your hand loosely, this is rare, medium, medium well done. And you should never, ever cook beef fillet well done, ever. So this is it's about perfect, medium rare. So I'm going to remove it from the pan and just let it have a little carryover cooking. I'm going to take the butter out. I'm going to add my shallots and my red wine. And I get that nice fond that's formed on the bottom of the pan, a little bit of stuck-on goodness. And I want to reduce that down. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper at this point. And you want to reduce on high heat till it's almost dry. So the wine is almost completely gone. I'm going to add my Dijon mustard and my beef stock. And you want to reduce this down until nappe, so that means coats the back of the spoon. And you can see it's definitely thickening, but not all the way yet. And now I'm going to add my cold whole butter and simply swirl the pan around. And this is called monte au beurre. And by doing this, I'm going to create a gloss and add a little just finishing smoothness to the sauce. And you want to do this right before you serve it, otherwise the butter just separates back out. So from here, I'm going to slice my beef on an angle. You can see that beautiful medium rare. And you're ready to eat.